Hello and welcome back to the NACE Star League. We're getting down to business. My name is Vincent. I'm joined by Marky.
It's going very, very good, Vinny. So happy to be back here with you. And oh my goodness, I can barely get it out of my mouth tonight. Playoffs is on the horizon. I just could not be more excited to get into this thing.
Indeed, it's getting down to the nitty-gritty, isn't it? We've got a whole lot of Counter-Strike left to play, though, here to get these underway. And honestly, I think the biggest excitement for me is just the fact that we got two best-of-3s ready to go for tonight. We have Fisher College. We've got a lot of time on the broadcast throughout this season up against Cincinnati. Then we have potential favorites-ish, depending on who you are, RIT going up against Kentucky. This is going to be an exciting day.
It really should be, and I can't wait to see Fisher, like you said. Like, they've been on the broadcast for a couple of these matches, and in those, they performed. So the standard is there. Cincinnati is not a team that we've seen really much of on the broadcast, but RIT, fan favorites as always. But yeah, I mean, depending on who you ask, but you know, maybe you ask me, I'd tell you otherwise. I mean, this is a very, very good roster, but we got them coming up second. Fisher and Cincinnati up first.
Yeah, that Cincinnati team, by the way, a team we actually did see back in like week 2 here on the broadcast. They played up against RIT. They did
That's a tough one.
I don't want to say beat up, but yeah, it's a tough match, right? So it wasn't the best performance that we could have seen from them, but now another opportunity to show up and in the quarterfinals, no less. So listen, they did what they needed to do to get here as well. So got to give them credit. They were up against, I don't know who KU is. I'm going to find out. I'll get the information for you. I think they played against that Kentucky team, though. No, it's Kansas. Found it. Kansas is who they played against in the round of 16 to get up and into this as well. So jumping right into that, I mean, let's talk a bit about this Fisher squad, because I feel like they're the favorites. What do you have, Fisher?
Yeah, so today was a little bit awkward, right? We're going to be seeing Frizzy in the lineup after all. I know they were just jumbling around over there. We were going to be potentially seeing their coach, Mr. Jackson Deprive, hopping in the roster for him, but we will be seeing that full roster. And I know tonight I got the chance to talk to Why Not before the game. I was seeing his op warm-up and matchmaking this morning. It's looking hot.
Well, hot indeed has been this Fisher College lineup in general. They've been able to make their way relatively unscathed throughout this regular season. Cincinnati, on the other hand, it's been decent, but they've had some bumps in the road. Like, let's not pretend like this has been a clear and easy one-way trip type of situation for them. They had a bump up against Kentucky. They had a couple of moments against that RAT team, as we talked about. But this is a team overall that has been making things work. And with regard to some of those middle of the pack teams, they've been dominating those games. And so I think that's why Cincinnati deserves to be here. The question is, are they going to be up to the task against a white hot Fisher roster? faster? That's the question I have.
So last week on the broadcast, we got to see Stony Brook versus Ole Miss, and that was sort of a situation like this where, being that was the round of 12, now you're in the quarters. I mean, you've came this far at least, right? They've done a good job, but, no matter how this one goes, this is going to be excellent experience for them. But, I mean, Fisher do not have a free one in this, right? We're talking about the experience difference, potentially how they've done this season will impact them. You're in the quarterfinals tonight. How you did in the regular season does not matter. You just got to send the confidence in. And I mean, 2 short maps of MR12 could go like that, and you could take it over Fisher.
That's a good point, right? As much as we are kind of alluding to, don't think we've necessarily talked about it directly, but the fact is that Fisher had a very good regular season performance. I mean, they went out first in their conference, or joint first, I guess, to be fair, with GMU and Stony Brook. So like they were right at that level that you would have liked to see. UC, on the other hand, they were like joint, I think, third or something like that. So it was tough to see them. They were in a tough spot. It wasn't a guarantee that they were going to be able to make their way to this position, but they were able to do so. And now this is the biggest thing that they're going to have to go up against, I think, beyond that RIT game that we saw in the regular season.
Maybe that was a good warm-up, right? RIT was a very, very hot prospect, but they're elsewhere in the bracket, higher ranked for a reason. And I mean, right now, if they can put their best up against Fisher College, anything can happen but Fisher. I mean, we can talk about this lineup all day. I mean, Frizzy, luckily joining us, was able to figure out a situation today to be with us tonight. And I mean, we are all going to be lucky to see his presence in the server. What an absolute ball it is whenever he steps in. I know, why not, right? I was referring to how he wants to get going on the AWP. I can't wait to see that. And then Tatum, as per usual, puts on a master class.
Yeah, I think that the depth is the real key for Fisher. Whereas Cincinnati, I think it's fair to say that you and I are both in the same boat, where we saw a little bit from them in the regular season, but outside of that, they don't have the name recognition in the same way that those Fisher players do. And I think that's part of the reason why it's hard to make a commitment on where we think these teams are going to be. What I do know is that we can transition into talking a bit about the map pool, because we do have that confirmed, I believe. So, Marky, why don't you bring it?
So I believe we are going to be coming out onto Nuke first, if I remember correctly. We could go ahead and take a look at the vetoes. Yeah, it was going to be Ancient and then Nuke second, and then we were going to have Mirage left over. So seeing Ancient, I mean, my goodness, we've seen Ancient a lot here in any level of Counter-Strike in the last couple of months. It's been one into CS2 that has just been so entertaining, and finding it in any best of 3, I think for really either side, you're going to be comfortable going in onto this. But I mean, Fisher on Ancient is quite a show.
It's really funny you mentioned that. I was actually talking to my broadcast earlier today about that exact thing, that I think everybody is just enjoying a lot more Ancient nowadays. I don't know what it is about CS2 that's brought everybody to that map, but that is Cincinnati's map pick. So Fisher get to start on the CT side, which I do think is very favorable. In one specific case, especially if you get that early momentum where you can get economy, then the utility is overwhelming for the CTs, and it makes the T side very difficult. Otherwise, the T side a lot easier overall. Then Nuke, Fisher College bringing that out. The one thing that I'm a little bit surprised at, not surprised to see them play Nuke, I'm surprised that they didn't elect to go with Vertigo. Yeah. Pretty much every time I've seen Fisher this season, it's been Vertigo, and typically Mirage as well, but they typically opt into Vertigo. They actually banned it out. Any idea why they would be doing that?
I'm not sure, right? You look at the vetoes, and it's one of the maps that really even comes down to the last choice between, Mirage and Vertigo, and it's just very interesting. I mean, Vertigo, like you said, I mean, it's been one that you see it come up with Fisher College really against anybody. I mean, this is a map, like, you get in the situation where they play another big team, right? RIT. That would be one that I would expect them to pick if it falls through. Tonight, not the case. They have it cut out for an Ancient. This is on Nuke. This is another map that they do have experience on, but clearly Tatum has something cooked up for this, because Vertigo, maybe they've gotten into a little bit of trouble with it recently.
Hey, maybe. I've been told the game just about ready to get underway. So Ancient will be up first, and I'm curious as well as we look to jump in your opinions are, but we're gonna get this going as we do. So the CT side, how big a deal is the CT side start on Ancient? Because like I was saying earlier, if you get a good like pistol round, for example, I think it's actually a huge momentum swing, more so than just in general.
Yeah, so I think that going for the pistol really, I mean, for either side with how powerful they are, they even just really want the CTT side thing away because you win this and it's all gone to your side, running it up through cave, double headshot, the drive by. CJ gets a nice 2K.
Well done indeed. There's more to be found here. Those dualies pick up a single kill before getting dispatched. Adam getting railed at the end of that one, and now 1v5 for Juxo. Unlikely as it may seem, he'll give it a go, but Sonsic having none of that business right there. The 1-0 start and the tease holding back what I was talking about with regard to that economic run of form that can come from a CT side pistol win.
Oh my goodness. I mean, you exactly hit it right on the head. And now you're going to see Cincinnati. They exactly want to come out with a stunner, and they just did that, right? I mean, coming out and absolutely just beating Fisher out on that Bravo base, no chance. And now Tatum has just got to know that they got to save it in this one. USP's up, but what a brutal pistol round. You know, it goes back to kind of what we were talking about before with really how important that defensive start is and what it can be, because when you really get in and it gets started, it's really hard to stop. And so is the force of Cincinnati when you can get it going on this T side, now just chasing you down.
That's Tatum running for the hills. Just trying to get back into a more defendable position. A little bit of whiff on that smoke, but USB's on the other side. No big deal, really. Juxo at least has his AK. I mean, that's going to be a massive boon if he can save that away. Of course, that's a big fat if right there as well.
Ooh, and CJ
about
no.
Knife.
Not
yes,
in the
please.
second round. Oh my goodness.
That's exactly when you need the knife. The money is massive.
Money is massive, but so is their confidence. I mean, that sends a message right there. They're out to play today, and not only do they want to take this win versus Cincinnati, versus Fisher, they want to embarrass them, and that was an unfortunate situation to find yourself in, but 4 players saved over as well. And AK Juxo, he gets one more, but can he survive? It looks like he should. Cincinnati up 2.
Here's where Fisher get their first real opportunity. And I'm looking for 2 things, Marky. First of all, I'm looking for that aggressive mid control that most CT sides are going to eventually go to early. And then I'm looking for the control at like Speedway or Catwalk, whatever you want to call it, over at B.
Tatum, known that he wants to fight for this mid position. Yeah, a lot of this map control for Cincinnati, now you have these rifles up, you're allowing Fisher to sort of dip their feet in a little bit because they don't have all that utility to sort of fight through this thing the whole time. Right now, Frizzy, the smoke goes away. He's going to have to really just duck back in the cave, but we'll see if they decide to exploit it. Really see a lot of these other players just kind of getting back into this defense.
Reload has been heard by Roscoe. Frizzy a little bit careless in that moment. Not quite ready for that swing and goes down. Gives Cincinnati the man advantage that they're looking for. Rotation being called. Tatum heading over to B site where the main hit is coming. A lurk out A does damage as well to Moz. And now a man alone trying to hold his Juxo down and out instead.
Oh, and burned alive as well. Tatum, you can't even deal with this situation. You just got to back up, save what you have. It's a FAMAS, unfortunately, but that's all that Fisher was able to get up in this one. I mean, Cincinnati, these guys could not have gotten off to a better start, Vincent. Now in their first rifle round up against Fisher, they're going to come out with a full house if they're going to be aggressive on this hunt right now. And who could blame them? I mean, get these Fisher guys without the guns and send them back onto the save with nothing.
I mean, it's the right call for sure. Even if they lose 2, 3 players, Cincinnati not going to be bothered. They're being careful about it as well. Don't know if anybody's going to be too caught unless they take these fights aggressively like they are right now. Now Fisher taking a forward position, and neither one of them get away. Great work from Cincinnati. They lose just 1 player out of that. And what was otherwise a flawless round. Fisher College in some trouble early. Still, only the 4th round upcoming, but a save going to be required.
And that is just ridiculous. They do end up finding them both, and that is just going to sting so bad. Now you're going to get up with these upgraded pistols. Deagle, a couple 5.7s. Rizzy just going to save up, but right now, Cincinnati, they know they don't want to rush into anything else. Now there's your confirmation, and 3 kills off the board just like that. Juxo is going to get 1 back, AK in hand, but you look at where the rest of the squad is, flooded into A.
At least Juxo getting something out of that recovered AK. We'll toss it over to Frizzy, and Juxo will go collect the other. Frizzy seems to be poking his nose into this thing, not necessarily just going to save this away. Looking for a free kill, maybe an exit. Certainly not going to be an easy round to win, but there is technically time left if they want to.
Ooh, and that's a tough angle, and Juxo's just going to go down on it, and Frizzy now in a 1v3. That is a little unwinnable. Just going to have to dip back on it, and honestly, might get a little close to these players as he is saving, but should be able to get that over 4th for Cincinnati in what is an electric start. This is shocking.
Fisher being smacked down early, and Cincinnati showing that this is why they are here. I got info, by the way, from our friend MJB that apparently Cincinnati, very good on Vertigo. That's why we didn't see a vert tonight.
Shout out to Michael Jordan's brother. Always love it when he has the scoop. But now, Adam, we seen this backflash last time, and it's so deadly, putting them to bed just like that. And now you're going to try and trade back onto it. I don't know if you're going to be successful. Tatum out in the night.
That's the impact that we're looking for, Marky, is getting that early impact and then falling back away, saving his life. Tatum, one of the heaviest hitters, the most experienced player on this roster by a pretty significant margin, at least playing experience-wise. And that's what you need from that guy individually sometimes to step up and in. Here's the A hit. The final 3 members coming forward. 1 frag on to Tatum as he gets forward position in Temple, but Maz is chilling backside. Is anybody going to check him here? Absolutely not. Plant tries to go down, and Def follows suit. Juxo stealing away the 2nd kill, but a nice, clean round for Fisher.
And finally, they get on the board just like that. But you're absolutely correct. I mean, Tatum is quite the man you're going to be wanting to lead your program up. He is a leader in really every single margin, right? I mean, he's taking a step back from, I believe, ESEA Advanced this season. And, I mean, he's harnessing his powers here at Fisher. And I mean, I remember the first LAN I went to, it was a St. Louis Fragadelphia, and at the time I was playing with one of the players that was on Touchpoint that at the time Tatum was with, and I got to witness, you know, the moxie that this guy had in person, and it was quite something to see as an upcoming player at the time.
Indeed it is. Now giving, like you said, those talents over to Fisher College, but Cincinnati got talents of their own, and CJ is currently lurking his way out mid. Has some support from Shelf, maybe. As that smoke fades, I don't think he responded, but a flashbang certainly thrown. Roscoe with a quick trade. That's the player who was unspotted.
What?
Nice shot there on to Juxo. This op should at least grab. Oh my goodness! Roscoe going nuclear.
Oh my goodness! Picking up the AWP, this man is rolling on into it, doesn't want to stop. Tatum, he's came back to middle, just checking his bearings, but Roscoe, he is the red herring here and making it happen. Vincent, this is ridiculous.
Give him the ace. He deserves it, Tatum. Give him the opportunity. AWP watching down towards CT, and Adam just watching that smoke. He's trying to get an AK. There's a kit in front of him. There is no winning this. Bomb's been planted for a while already. Not quite halfway ticked, but a losing strategy. Tatum knows. What a round from Roscoe.
That is insane. I mean, none of those fights that he gets into are really ones where he's really set on his feet, right? Having his full mental in the game, but really, those are the ones that a great aimer will win, right? We see Nico and, you know, all these guys hit shots, and those are some of the ones that you really just shouldn't get sometimes. And Roscoe, that's how you defy it.
On a run of form, 10-3 for Roscoe. Elucidator, we haven't said their name very much, but 5-1 as well. I feel like this is a team going ham at the moment. Fisher getting that one round off the back of the early Tatum double kill. And a timeout taken by Fisher.
Oh boy, now they've got to discuss. I mean, they got that first round on the board. I guess that lit something under Roscoe. I mean, he was just shot out of a cannon right there, needing to respond. And just like that, we're halfway into this first half, and you're already up 5-1. Of course, you're going to need a little bit of a break.
Why not back on the AWP? I think that's something that needs to get activated now. You know, we saw that incredible shot from Roscoe. Not a lot you can really do about that, honestly. It's kind of a pre-fire, so it's going to feel bad, but that op on the CT side really needs to stop some of the aggression here.
Yeah, and now there's a mass of players headed towards this A site, maybe just to give a little more attention to front of this position for the moment. But Roscoe, the bandit, back on his endeavors over towards B, but majority of these CTs, they're looking to make something happen towards ramp.
I like this aggression, this push. Good, monster spotted out. Finds out some information, but the smoke toward double doors allows for the space gained in that AWP that we were talking about to get activated.
Oh, and now Frizzy, he may just get busy with their opper, but that timing is so crazy. Frizzy gonna call this thing clear. Monster on the other side of it, smoked out again, but that gap exposed, and Frizzy will just punish down on it. CJ left to pick up the pieces, but I mean, all of this damage done. And now we'll see where Why Not decides to strike again.
Currently looking at the gap towards middle that was left by the Red Room player evacuating. Elucidator's going to take up that space now, but the AWP on the other side, as I just mentioned, split towards A. The plan of action with 30 seconds remaining. The AWP misses the mark. The second shot on target, and the bomb dropped with the help of Tatum. It's all over here for CJ, and a missed shot will seal the deal.
Oh my goodness, and what a flip of a round. Perfect out of it from Fisher. I mean, that checked all the boxes. It's almost a dream scenario, right? You're coming out of that with the op. You can build your economy. If there's any round to piggyback off into the rest of this half, it's that one.
Most certainly. I mean, hey, the win cons that you and I just got done talking about, it really happening in spades, right? An aggressive play, the op getting involved, all of those things looking good, but maybe a change of pace. Early control out towards B for Cincinnati is the plan. Got a lot of players there, but not a lot of firepower to go with it.
Yeah, and last time we saw Fisher pick up a round, we saw Roscoe kind of activate, and that's just to say the least. We'll see if he can pick up anything like that in this round, just on that $700 pistol, and 10-4 currently standing, but right now, sort of the calm before the storm. You're seeing Cincinnati looking to get into mid, but here's Monster teeing off, and two more players over at B just do trade up.
Ooh, Roscoe playing a game of chicken right there, but Juxo, one of the players, by the way, that I feel like has shown a lot of improvement over the season, stepping up for a 3K and finding success that he does require. Elucidator lose his life as well. And it'll be Fisher College starting to build up a response. A third round now, their second in a row.
And Why Not does go down. Frizzy picks up that AWP back over to the man on the big green. That was a very nice shot that he did hit, but going into this round, this should be a very, very interesting scenes that we're seeing. I hope that this is not what's happening on the broadcast.
I think we're fine.
Oh, there we go. There we go. We're back into things, or we're back in the desk. We might have a server situation going on, but I mean, maybe a good point to get a little bit of a rest in as we are into this thing. And Elucidator, he is looking to pick this thing up in middle. Tatum just getting some spams through.
A little bit. Flashbang to send him out to the A side. Elucidator hitting the deck. A nice trade on that frag. Plant comes down eventually.
Just like that, they're back into the site, and 2 kills go the way back, and Tatum does trade that on to CJ, and now suddenly Cincinnati are getting back into things, but Juxo with the response.
1v2 there for Monster, denied by the Why Not AWP. Pretty much everybody getting a little bit of their own. Tatum with that double kill that we've been talking about. And it's been a slow start for Fisher. I mean, I don't think it's unfair to say that, but what I do know, Marky, is that a team that makes that slow start, it's not always the end. But Cincinnati very much impressing me right this moment. I love what they're putting together. Their approach to this T side, it's nothing fancy, but they have the basic utility that they need to create some of these easy executes and take control in mid.
Yeah, and I think that through those really thoughtful round wins that we have, right, they've gotten off to this really hot start, but, you know, it hasn't just been Roscoe ripping their heads off, right? That's been few and far between, but it's been through them thoughtfully getting this map control back. It's been very, very impressive. And I mean, that sort of start, right, you're seeing Fisher starting to come back on it. No matter what, that's going to hype you up, and we'll see if they can carry that forward through the rest of this one, but we're getting back into this one shortly. I mean, I can't really wait to see this Why Not op get going. Had a really crucial kill there in a couple of those rounds, and I mean, you really just love to see that consistency get going.
Exactly, and I think the biggest consistent factor right now has honestly been CJ and Roscoe for me. Like, these guys have been dominating overall. I think they're also the guys that we saw make some of those really individual plays that helped Cincinnati build this lead that they've gotten into. And I think that on the T side of Ancient as well, I think you're happy with 5-6 rounds. You know, obviously you always want more. It's never enough, you know what I mean? But hey, picking up 5 or 6 rounds is not just the minimum, but it's at expectation.
No, definitely. And I mean, they could do a little bit better, but I mean, you're going to be good with that. I mean, really, if you can get a nice pistol round going, when that's back up to bat, you can get this thing started. And I mean, really, that's where the impact is. I mean, it all stems off of that. Fisher, they're having a time coming into this, but really, we're talking about the rounds that they're getting, right? That 5th, 6th round. Talk about it for Fisher, right? Maybe we're expecting more.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know if expecting more is like the right word, because here's the way I look at it, right? Like, you get into this map, it's a little bit of a slow start, and you got to just take what you're given. Right now, Fisher are picking that up. I think that once we get to see the halftime through, then we can have that conversation. But at the moment, well, we haven't yet gotten there. 2 rounds left to play in the first half as we end off that short little hiatus. Back in with control. Frizzy didn't want to quite commit to that gunfight. Got caught out in the meantime. Juxo, a wild spray on retreat. It's the frag and falls away, but at a disadvantage, Cincinnati still have this lead.
At this point in the half, you're going to really see these next couple of moments determine a lot of this. Juxo looking for some space, and I mean, Solo over here has got to make a play, is investigating, but Monster, the timing They both let each other pass. Monster will get a lot of information. So will Juxo. It depends where Juxo decides to send this. Monster's probably calling, guys, I'm walking through B. Do you want me to flank? No, we're still going through A. Get that flank going, and we'll just collapse them. Now that flash getting started, but actually the retreat coming through, they're sending everybody back to the Bravo base.
Yeah, well, it's because Bravo is wide open for business. A fake, they commit to all the that they were going to throw out as well, but smoke tossed deep into CT. That is going to give it away for Fisher. Problem is, information isn't a big help to them. Yeah, great. Now they know it's not an A hit, but they don't know that the B site is so wide open. Only now, as the numbers get punched in, do they get that information confirmed. It's a swift rotate, but it's going to be a tough retake.
Ooh, and CJ just does get that kill onto Juxo, so now it's got to be why not, but it is the Monster that just stands so tall, getting those last two, and CJ survives as well. A little bit of a bro ace between the two.
6-5 here for Cincinnati as their map pick currently going not quite swimmingly, but very well indeed. Lead not yet confirmed, but you look on the other side, Fisher College by no means out of this round. They have a phenomenal buy. And Roscoe out on the AWP on the T side now. We haven't seen a ton of that Roscoe op, I don't feel.
No, and I mean, unfortunately, we're not going to be able to see it much in this one, as immediately removed from this situation, the battle does take place, favoring Fisher College, but now Monster trying to re-peek in mid. 30 off of this clock right now, and a lot of map control given back to Cincinnati after the opening kill.
We'll see if that map control becomes a problem at it. Oh my goodness, Monster, what a shot that was. Rizzy wasn't even committing to that gunfight, by the way, just trying to shoulder peek. It's the most frustrating thing in the game of Counter-Strike. Feel like you're not even on the screen.
Ooh. Tatum defending there in Donut, but there is a very big opener onto Maz. This A site just being controlled, and now just a Monster joining the crew. I believe there is a smoke on the back of Monster, so a decent chance in this one, but here comes the fight, and another big one, but there is why not putting this thing into a 1v2.
Not even recollected, not even required. It's Fisher to shut that down. A 6th round on the board and a phenomenal recovery. 4 rounds down at the start, bringing it back to a 6-6 scoreline.
And now Fisher College, they're going to be going onto that T side. Now, I mean, you literally, I like to say sometimes with a, maybe a 1 or 2 round difference that, oh, you got to get in that 0-0 round mentality, right? But literally now it is 0-0. You've just flipped the page. Now you've got another pistol round to determine things, and we're starting all over.
I think that's important to keep in mind, right? Like the momentum in this game is huge, but at the same time, if you're able to just mentally reset things and take every round as if it's its own thing, not connected, then I think you're doing better than most. CJ is starting things out better than most with that opening frag. This is going to be interesting. 2 up B, 2 up mid, holding for the rotation. That's an easy tap for Maz. And has spotted out the player back long as well. That's Roscoe, whose P250 is so good at this range, but Tatum there to provide support and allow the bomb to go down.
And Tatum on that will scare. I mean, this is a guy that when you swing, you do not want to be on the other side, and that's the reason why. But Sansek, he does get that back. And now, one-man army up and the P250 out. Oh my goodness! I can't believe he has just pulled that out. Just out of thin air, the 3K and the round. Sansek does it all.
The clutch moments from these Cincinnati players have been what has really driven some of their incredible plays, right? You think back to Roscoe on that one round, had such an incredible moment. I think that Sansek kind of channeling that same energy in that clutch. A 1vx for the boys, and that puts Cincinnati back up in the lead as they double up on pistol round victories. You love to see it. It'll be Fisher College. Not quite force buying.
Yeah, they're going
Got the
for
plant, but
a
they
little
don't
bit of a
want it.
mixed bag. See where their heads are at. Maybe they can get it done with just these pistols, but maybe going up against the MP9 is what they need. But then again, you get that mow down just like that. Backup is here as well, but Frizzy just does get one. Fortunately, put right to bed after that. Moz. And get out here and do some damage, but that's about it.
Yeah, that's a round where you just see the potential fall away right in front of your eyes for Fisher. They isolated the duel towards the site. They had the default guy swung, but I just gotta say, I don't remember who was there, but whoever it was, that flashbang into the smoke, little chef's kiss right there. Perfectly played. Delays just enough that even when they do go down, it's no biggie.
Certainly no big deal at all, but now we're going to be going into a bit of a pause here. And now we can sort of get our bearings straight, as these players will. And I mean, really, this is just such an insane map, number one. I mean, we can take a look right back to last week. I was joined by Seymour, right? And I mean, we got to endure, Vincent, I know we like overtime. Sometimes we don't like so many overtimes. We saw a lot of overtimes last week, and it honestly was a bit of a treat. But these guys, they played Ancient not only once, they played it twice in one map. Yeah, it was very, very nice. It was quite the treat. And I mean, right now, you're getting that feeling it could just go back and forth, but suddenly, Fisher College, they're down just in this one, like 2 rounds off the bat of Cincinnati in a row. Let's see if they can answer with this one.
Yeah, but they're on the bye as well. See what Fisher has to offer. Mid-control, the plan of action, little double nade, trying to catch somebody moving forward towards the big box in middle. The first step of any good T side here on the map of Ancient is getting this control outside of B. These smokes starting to fade away and spam back and forth as Fisher take the positioning and try to earn some free mid control off the back of it.
Now Monster will just sit back, knows that these players are... Yeah, that is a very nice audio cue. I think there might have just been another little movement that catches him in the corner, and Frizzy will just get that good headshot. This is a round where they've got to go big, but Roscoe over here at Cave, I mean, this is not a position where you want to challenge him today. We know how dangerous he can be. CJ, a lot of info there in mid, just seeing a couple players while passing over.
Important to convert these 5v4s. Roscoe's found a timing. It's not looking the right way, though, as he's been timing the pawn. Why not? Wins the duel, and it cuts Cincy to just the 3. Push out towards B, starting to go now. Damage done. The fight won. Sonsic wins another duel before going down. Unfortunately, it's a bit of dueling death right there as Moz walks out A for the freebie into the rotation. Cincinnati unable to win the first gun round of the half.
Yeah, and you see what that does to a CT side economy that has a little bit of struggle getting going, right? You win those first 2, but I mean, you lose that one, no matter how pretty the first 2 went, it's going to be complicated anyway. They're going to go for this full save. Roscoe is going to get a bit of an upgrade up, but hey, man, that guy can do some damage. Do the investment.
Oz in trouble. That's big trouble. HE gonna land, but why not with a phenomenal spray down? It's 3 of them. Moz doing some good work, softening him up for him. HP for why not. Needs to get out without too much of an ado, but I think he should be fine as nobody's going that direction.
CJ just on the other side of it. We'll see how he decides to fade this one. Both of these players just backing up on it. And right here, Fisher, you're going to tie it up just like this. And Really, Vincent, one of the hardest things to stop on Ancient T side is this momentum, right? When it gets going, it's hard to stop. Tatum right around the corner from it. Oh no, you could get stabbed, and he does get away. But Monster, he's looking to make him pay a nice headshot for it, but they'll tie it up on it. Monster looking to have his maker met, but why not? Does not finish the job on it.
Yeah, why not just make sure he's out of there? That's a lot of damage from that bomb sometimes. He does indeed make it far enough away, but where'd the
he
AK
wasn't
go?
able to get it.
That's unfortunate.
Maybe he blasted all the way down into the corner right there. I think that's what he was looking to check, but he thought otherwise.
Yeah, probably.
I didn't see it.
You know, sometimes it's weird. Sometimes the bomb does blast guns, and other times it doesn't move them at all.
That bomb. And with how deadly it is in CS2, oh man, we need to get that consistency going. But Paws, that's what he can do with those paws. My goodness, that is dirty. And now Frizzy, he's looking real sturdy, getting Roscoe out, and already a 3-man advantage in this round.
Yeah, this was. I mean, it was meant to be a bit more of a round where some victories could be had for Cincinnati, but not looking that way at all. Little upgrade onto the pistol armor, even an MP9 or two. None of it finding value. None whatsoever. Monster just hawking away here in Jaguar. Hoping and praying he's allowed to save this gun. Presumably they won't hunt him too much, but Fisher College finding their footing once again. Maybe not in the very early stages of the half, but shortly thereafter.
Yeah, they don't have a ton of money to really justify the hunt here, especially for a guy with an MP9. But I mean, if you could, you should, and they will. And now, 2 more players around the corner, but they will stop. 2 kills go the way back, and I mean, that's going to be okay. You look at the money they come out with it for, and I mean, they'll be looking real nice anyway, but it's going to be a little costly. You know, why not? He's the only player really with a ton in the bank. Couple players reasonably around, but finally they recapture the lead.
Long time coming, but here we go. And University of Cincinnati finally back on the bye and the AWP. Love this double aggression, but there's players on the other side. For College walking right into it, and they behead them both. Fisher, double entry. Now CJ has a lot to do. A quick flick required, but a secondary shot not had. Miles cutting the rotation down to 1, and Roscoe might be on the site, but he's quite done. It's quickly another round for Fisher College. Swift as you like.
Does anybody have the time on that? That was kind of insane. Yeah. I mean, they ran that thing down in less than 30 seconds, and then Maz, even with the lurk, such perfectly timed right there, stabs him in the back. 10 will be found, double digits for Fisher College, and that will be great.
All right, Fisher making their way to potential victory. This will be 11 if they can connect these shots. Deagle's armor, that's about it though for the University of Cincinnati. They aren't in perfect economic positions. Big gun round will be the next one up. Maz just walking out mid. No utility. Great find. Tatum out today. Finds another connection. Freebie onto Elucidator. Not looking the right direction. Maz continuing to be under fire. But Sonsic, 2 falls down.
Wow. 11 found just like that. I guess check the pistol round off the board for it. Cincinnati. No real success in the save. It was pretty good to get up 1 on Mize, but I mean, my goodness, have Fisher College on this T side have just ran away with things. 5 rounds in a row, 2 more to get. Can the Falcons finish things out here?
That's the question that we all have to be asking early. House Smoke, as per the usual arrangement for a default on the T side. Now, we've seen Cincinnati a lot more aggressive over at B before. They leave that open, but they find the ops position out at mid. Nice find, though. Why Not has answered back with one of his own. 4-on-4, Marky.
Minute 20 left, and Frizzy on the other side of this. There have been so many battles that have been decided literally at this angle that when it's coming down right to the smoke fading, it's a little bit ironic. Though Juxo, all the way up the ramp, and knowing this, Frizzy, he's not going to get too much pressure on it. And just snuck over for it. Maybe going to be able to find this player. Oh, Juxo just caught there by Monster, but now, why not? Bottom of the ramp. Let's see if he can get it go, and finally crunched in upon Adam, the next man to fall. Frizzy as well is there and fighting, but now it's all up for Why Not, who did get that trade earlier. Would have to be a 1v4.
He's already got a lot of work done in this thing. Lucidator trying to figure out how he can utilize some utility to support his teammate. But these are 1v1s potentially being given over. Running out of bullets still. Why not on the reload? Again, 1v1's possible at this point, but the AWP does the damage. CJ to stop the bleed. Fisher College finally destroyed in one round after a run of 5.
And that's going to be very nice to see if you are a Cincinnati Cougars fan. I mean, that was a very, very nice one right there. But now you're going to have to stand up to it again. AK's back up for it. Why not back on the op like he never left?
Insta reach on that smoke to gather information out bottom mid. Doesn't really give as much info as I think CJ was looking for. He'll fall back away. Cincinnati have allowed Fisher a lot of early positioning. Donut control now in the hands of the T's, and that is a problem.
Ooh, swing and a miss right there. Tatum now walking back up. House control has been really, it's all just a fake out with that smoke. They've backed up on it. I think they've got to get things readjusted for this A split. Bomb is outside of things, and I think Tatum's running for it.
That smoke was incredible. That smoke has just potentially given the round win over to Fisher. It creates so many question marks with still possession of control at B, and with the fact that there was just contact made at the B site. Now there's no sure thing about where this hit's gonna go.
Bearcats, they're looking for where it's going to come from, but now Maz, he is going to be right here where all the action is taking place. Frizzy, he has got that opening kill. CJ looking through the back off, but just like this, it couldn't go worse for Cincinnati as they're just on the extremities and can't find a way in.
Maybe, just maybe, CJ can do this, but I don't think that is going to happen. 1v5. And just the aggression from Frizzy saying, not a chance. Cincinnati, their map pick, but it's not their map point. And they don't have 3 of them. Fisher College do. It's time to see if Fisher can close this thing out. They have a couple of opportunities, but look at the money. Marky, it's in a bit of shambles, isn't it, over on the Cincinnati side?
To say the least. I mean, you see the Fabas MP9s coming out, a couple of these cheaper options. Roscoe gonna be on that auto shotty. We know what kind of damage that can do, but already losing a man, I don't know if you're quite propped up for the big auto shotty play anymore.
As much as I love that auto shotgun in CS2, it is still situational at this level, so maybe it's not. Maybe it's just all purpose. 1-for-1 trade there for Roscoe. Unfortunately, that's not going to make the numbers game any better. Holding the angle, Why Not will catch one man as another falls back. 2 remain for the Cincinnati defense.
Ooh, and long range on the MP9 is not able to be converted. It is now all up to Monster. 1v4. Is there any chance in this one? Vincent, I'm not sure there is.
Doesn't seem like it. Monster chance won't even overcome the first hurdle. That's Fisher College 13-9 on their opponent's map pick. A fantastic performance that sets them a step above the rest, as we have consistently been knowing throughout the semester, but Fisher showing it once again.
Certainly so. And Ancient, I mean, just their playground when they get that momentum going on their T side, it was so very entertaining. But I mean, Cincinnati, they're with them pound for pound in the first half. And I mean, if they bring that energy right into Nuke, they could give themselves a very good opportunity to win that map. But Cincinnati, they could have easily taken that one over the board and got it into their camp. Unfortunately, did just drown out in the second half. That's all good. Still in this series a ton. Go and get it on Nuke.
Yeah, I think there's actually a couple things to talk about. First of all, I felt like we saw some incredible individual performances there on a couple of players. Like that moment from Roscoe that we saw, like what a momentum swinging moment to be able to pull that off. And there was some picks there from CJ that I felt the same way. The difficulty is that some of those came, but not quite as often as you would have hoped. I mean, that 1vX clutch that we saw as well, was it a pistol round? I can't recall, but in the second half, that fantastic 1v3, I think it was, from Cincinnati that kind of helped bring them back into it. All of those things were great, but Fisher, I feel like as a whole, was just ready to play. They had a plan going in there, and shout out to Juxo, who had a phenomenal game as well. I feel like it was a game where we didn't necessarily get to talk about it, but he just quietly had like 2 kills a round.
Yeah, I mean, you got to get those little ones, and I mean, it'll show up in the stat sheet if you're consistent about it, and Juxo usually is, right? I mean, this is a player that we didn't touch on the pregame because of all the superstardom that is on this team. Not to say that he is not a part of that. I mean, there have been nights that we've been covering Fisher on this broadcast where Juxo, coming out of the whole best of 3, is their most effective player. And I mean, those are some of the best nights for Fisher when you can really rely on anybody in your roster to get it going. But I mean, yeah, I think the clutch that you're referring to was that second half pistol round where the Cincinnati player, it literally looked like we had this guy over just going pew pew. It literally was in the snap of a finger, that clutch. I mean, it was really, really insane. And I mean, just those little moments in the pistol round, just those headshots will determine a lot. But I mean, you see, the better team, some will say, won. I mean, you can say that with the stat of how Cincinnati are winning both of these pistols, but they are not drowning in this game. That is a missed opportunity for them. But like I said, I mean, they have the chance to win for it. But Fisher, they just outdueled them.
That they did. Nuke is coming up next with Mirage. Should it be required? That is what's on the docket. We got to take a short break, but when we come back, we'll get Nuke underway. See you in a moment. Well, hello there, and welcome back to what it was an exciting map number 1. Marky, unfortunately, Cincinnati unable to take their map pick, and there's a point that you touched on as we exited that I want to bring right back up and see if we can elaborate a little bit. Cincinnati win both pistols and still lose out 13-9. How big a deal is that? And, well, does that mean that Fisher just very much clearly outplay them? Talk to me about how that happens.
Yeah, so maybe that's really your first assumption for it, but I mean, there were a lot of gun rounds that Cincinnati was in and then out of, right? They really, unfortunately, were a victim due to a lot of the Fisher, as soon as Roscoe showed his individual prowess, Fisher did too. I mean, they started fighting back into this one hard, and I mean, really, they outdueled them really in the late round. I mean, that's where Fisher succeeds on it. I mean, there was even a moment where Why Not's almost pulling over a 1v4 ace clutch, right? These guys are in every round and won't let it go.
Yeah, and I think that kind of leads us into the chances here onto the Fisher pick. That's Nuke, and we'll talk a little bit more about that in a moment. Before we do, though, I do have to let you know about something that is going on here at the Naystar League, and that is Hearthstone is happening. Got to get registered, though, if you want to get into that. It's over at nsl.leaguespot.gg, and if you haven't done so, head over there right now while we got a second before the gameplay gets started and get registered. You like playing some card games like Hearthstone, that is your ticket. Nuke, ready to roll. Let's jump right into it.
And Vincent, you know me, man. You know me. I got a smile across my face. You can't see it, but you can hear it. I mean, these guys on Nuke, it's always a party on this map. Let's get things started.
Listen, I know you and Nuke enjoyment go right hand in hand out towards the ramp. The initial fight out, I think Squeaky, if I'm not mistaken, doesn't go well for Frizzy, but the ramp push goes swimmingly.
And now rotated all the way down, but not without some damage into it. And now nobody looking at that single door. CJ breaks into it, and now everybody is in and denied. CJ, ever so precise.
Making it 3 for 3 on those pistol rounds, Cincinnati, making that victory count. It's time to see if the CT side on this map, as it typically is going to be the big push that we expect it to be. Have we seen Fisher on Nuke this season? I cannot recall. We've seen so much of them. But I think we've mostly seen Vert and Mirage.
Been a lot of Vertigo. They get it done in the 2-0, but now a chance to really see it in front of our eyes. Outside, though. This is an unfortunate shooting gallery. No, Tatum! What have you done? Oh, goodness.
I don't know how that happened, but Tatum is laughing his way all the way to the bank. He's going to cash in on that bad boy. And Juxo, I mean, they know he's here. And yeah, that's an MP9 moment for sure.
OMG, Tatum. I cannot believe that. The disrespect, man. I don't want to say it, right? This is not any... This is the quarterfinals. You're flying through the air like Assassin's Creed. It's ridiculous. It works out, though. It works out, but not for the round win. They'll get a nice chunk of change off of it.
Hey, listen, that is op money there for Why Not. That is a massive boon. You'll love to see it. As much as it is a little bit of a funny moment, it does give a bigger advantage over Fisher in this gun round.
Unfortunately, nobody outside really to intercept these AWP bullets, because at the moment, a lot of these players headed over towards this ramp side, and just one player being rather bothersome on top of those steps.
There's Why Not. That's over towards ramp. Gonna get the pick and find success. Now the rest of the push ongoing. Maz nearly caught with the smoke out. Does get around the corner. And the smoke for J-Hall fully denying Elucidator. Well, he might walk through the smoke. This is an incredibly ill-fated play as on the other side. Tatum waiting in the wings. A 3-player deficit for Cincinnati is not the way to win these rounds.
Oh, and just that kill right turned around on it. CJ in the vent, all left alone. Time for Fisher College to get on the board with their first on their map choice.
Indeed, and what a round it might be. A flawless, maybe, as CJ probably not going to be finding too much of anything. Just, hanging out in the vents, as you do, a normal vent diver.
I happen to be a vent diver as well. You know, it's definitely understandable, but a leg lurching out there in the vent, and it is put down. Frizzy getting into the round, and that's a very nice headshot.
All right, Marky. That's gun round numero uno for Fisher College on their T side. And it's the same situation. You actually alluded to it back on that ancient map. Easy couple of first rounds, great. But at this point, it's no guarantee that you're going to get another gun round. The bonus is kind of your gun round nowadays.
No, certainly. And I mean, that's something that's had to change for the mentality of a lot of players. You know, maybe you have to, right, keep it at that bonus. You're not going up for that M4. It's just a waste of money. Keep what you have, because now you're going to be on these USPs and you're not going to get as lucky as that one. Kills going the other way, and suddenly Juxo, he's teeing off on everyone.
Fontic might be able to isolate a duel there against Why Not, who's rotating in. But Why Not supremely aware. Roscoe, he's a smoke criminal, and he's going to stay that way. Second smoke, that might be a third, but it's not deep enough. Hello there. Never mind. Why Not? Very aware of that possibility. Here we are, tied game.
Just like that, the Falcons are back. Like they never left. And I mean, they're coming over. They're carrying that momentum over those first 2 rounds. It is what it is. But now, this T side, it's been something that's been a very electric, right? You think about the history of the nuke, right? This long history. Really just been more of a CT-sided map throughout the years, especially in Go. Now you've seen a lot of these teams, when they can get this thing going, I mean, nuke, T-sided, win your rounds. You can get as many as you want. I mean, you really don't have that mental block for it. You're on these side, get it going. And with an IGL like Tatum, we know this guy can reach really far in the bag, and they're just taking their time right now, but it can get very complex.
Miles is doing a great job of clearing a lot of these close angles out of hut. Great find, though. Lucidator gonna catch Frizzy. Miles goes down to Roscoe, who's in the rafters, and now Why Not and Tatum are stuck in a clutch. Tatum gets the first, but he goes down as well, and Why Not unaware of the close range monster. Cincinnati take back their lead, making a statement of that one.
What a find right there. The timing on the Tatum, putting it all down to Why Not. And that is a situation that you will find in a big boost onto the CT side right there. I mean, as shaky as that T side economy is, you're going to be able to have one more round. The Falcons, they're right back at you. I mean, that's a great round to find here on Nuke. And the Ecos, I think that's what makes it such an interesting map, is you're never really out of this one with how many close quarters engagements that you have. But right there, Op, really from not so far away, is getting that opening kill.
Yeah, this is just, again, the pace that Fisher is able to find is really superb. Monster will take the first shots, but it's not him who finds the kill that kills Frizzy from elsewhere. Fisher College cut in their advantage, and that's now an even scenario.
And now there's just got to be a little bit of movement just here from the setup. You see, it may just be in the defensive right now. You got to shift, try and be ahead of where the offensive is thinking. Suddenly, they're in the right place, and Sansic could get a nice flank going. They're looking to crunch on A.
So, going down to that first engagement. Great flashbang there from Why Not. The problem is that he can't actually take that fight, and Tatum, there's not a worse angle in the game than trying to make your way up that ladder alone.
And Tatum just out of it, just challenges this B player, probably not expecting that wide of a swing. Tatum just got to isolate it. 20 seconds left. He might not have it. Yeah, I don't know if he has enough time to fully wrap through Mini, but potentially to save the AK over and give Cincinnati another one.
I mean, the big issue here, Marky, is that Tatum isn't going to get any extra money. He's like 1450, and that's going to stay that way. Not a huge deal for this round, I guess. If they save around it, won't be a big deal, but does feel not great to be lacking in that cash flow. So, as much as we talked about Cincinnati not being able to necessarily take advantage of their pistol round victories last map, they certainly haven't done it in the traditional sense this map either. But 2 rounds immediately after a couple that Fisher picked up is exactly what the doctor ordered.
Ooh, and CJ up and above is taking out that AK. Doctor's order maybe denied there, at least with the rifles on Fisher's side. Can the Falcons get it done with anything else? P250 can. It's the Deagles as well. Damage done, but CJ looking to have some fun.
CJ, a little grab on that kit as well. No, gotta keep that in mind. Why not's recovered an AK, presumably from Tatum's body, but unfortunately he only held on to it for a moment.
The cursed AK. As soon as he gets it, he drops it, unfortunately. But right now, Maz and Frizzy, they can just be patient and try and see if any of these players are going to give them their due diligence. Unfortunately, it does come with probably the one player you wouldn't have to want to peek into, the AWP. And Maz, just a matter of time, hanging out at Secret.
CJ was on for the ace there, by the way, taken away. Yeah, that op outside is something that has to be dealt with at this point. Fisher finding it high impact in many a round thus far. I don't think we're going to get to see an op out this time, though, for Fisher College. Their money is fine, but not op fine.
That's a good way of putting it. I mean, it's not such a healthy place to be. You really need to get to a more comfortable spot. We know the Falcons can sort of play from any deficit. And right now, switching things up, some meatballing outside. You got to be there for that trade, and we'll see where they decide to send this. Could be in a big garage before. That's where they went.
Standard smokes together. That's a bit of an overextension. Why not holding a bit too long, trying to take that extended fight to the Heaven player, and he falls for the trouble. Now it's just a 4-man army for Fisher College, walking their way down to B. Maz still lurking out in lobby. He's the only one elsewhere.
Sansic now in some trouble, drops down, and has put Juxo in it, down to 1, can just dance around for it. Oh my goodness, has gotten that one back, but now suddenly, this is not looking great for Fisher. Monster knocking on the door for it. One man right around the corner is not healthy enough to take this fight.
Bad late round scenarios for Fisher College in these last couple of moments. And honestly, I think that I say bad late round, but actually the early round is where they've been making errors, making mistakes. In those couple of rounds they picked up, it was them getting the opening picks. Now, though, Cincinnati has been the one finding those frags, and it's a consistent thing as well. Whether it be CJ or someone else, we've been seeing essentially someone for Fisher go down early in all these rounds.
And now you're really going to see this pace get going. Stopped up by a Molly, but they know what is behind it. They've got to realize that Flood is about to commence. And now the dogs will go just out on ramp, and J-Hall will be exposed next. Drop down the ladder on a bad timing, but the Opera is there to save you. CJ can only be good for a moment. Hopefully it's more than one. No scope not hitting on that, but USP out. A couple players in his lap, and this thing's getting hectic, and he's finally removed.
This is bad news bears as well for Cincinnati. They are in trouble with a man disadvantage at the moment, and Juxo upgrade onto the AWP, up into Heaven, and drop down, provide some more coverage. Maz up over the top. Phenomenal work from Juxo. AWP from Heaven connects the shot, and Sansic, who was the first man to make contact at ramp, got dinked down and then ran away, and no help to work with. He's now alone, and he's certainly not going for it.
Yeah, and I think they unfortunately know where he is so low as well, backed up at the ramp, and I wouldn't be surprised if there were a couple... Oh boy, it's set up for it. It's set up for it.
But he's so far away. Big sad.
Would have loved to see the dunk, but unfortunately will not come. And Sonsick, I'm pretty sure he survives.
No?
I guess not. I guess not.
New bomb is crazy. I mean,
Interesting.
It was essentially the maximum distance he could have been from that bomb outside of spawns. Maybe at red?
I just don't know. I mean, what more do you want?
Secret? He could have been a secret? Yeah, you just can't be at ramp if you have that HP.
Gotta get out of it, but now, I mean, that one rifle would give them a little bit of confidence in this one, but now you're going to meet them at the point of attack. You know they want to get going here on ramp, but why not jumping around? Roscoe, Mag 7 has put him in the round, but unfortunately, not much more than that.
I saw those no-scopes, why not? I saw what you were trying to do there. We didn't miss it. Cincinnati. Their start strong. And they're currently in the lead. Not by a crazy margin, but enough. And if they could just... I mean, honestly, I don't know how this version of Nuke feels just yet. I haven't seen that much of Nuke, actually. But getting 6 rounds on the T side would be phenomenal.
Ooh, and CJ, he's looking to play up, but is put down. Not more than one on it, but it's just this flood of players into heaven. Tatum, he is fast on it. And Monster, he's got to have received the call. He's peeked up on this thing, and now Tatum from up above will just be removed.
Yeah, Tatum up on the railing as well, just trying to get every advantage in that gunfight. Still can't quite make it work against the A1S. Now things slow down. A little bit of a lull for Fisher College. Juxo worried about all sorts of different angles, as is Sonsick. The swing comes forward, and Sonsick is the better for it. Why not Maz? Trying their best at this. Will go down almost one after another. 7 for Cincinnati CT side. Nuke, not a bad look for them currently. As much as it's a CT-sided map, you have to start to, the back of your mind, Mark, you think, are Fisher in trouble here? Is this a map 3 situation?
If they get 8, I might agree with you. Currently, Fisher look in these rounds, they just can't convert them. If it gets a little bit worse than that, I think I might be really thinking just like you are, because, I mean, they're not such far away from it, and just like that, I mean, that's going to convince somebody. I mean, a new opening frag right from outside, and now Roscoe is going to be able to play with it, but not much.
CJ has just been so phenomenal in these positions. Another trade frag found. Why not doing a great job finding those trade kills on this AWP? Unfortunately, it's not been the closers of these rounds for Fisher. That's where they've struggled, getting into these winnable 3-on-3 type scenarios. This one, a 3-on-2, has been great for them, though. Why not about to be under pressure as the door push is coming from Monster. He's got some support over from Frizzy. He's checking all of the boxes, the angles, ensuring that nobody's going to catch them off guard, but this timing might just be that. Timing. Bad news, as Monster is walking right around the corner.
Oh, it has found the Opper sleeping, but now just a player to retake in from Mini. And Maz not going to be able to see him on that heaven position. Now will just walk in, and a player waiting for it will spot the jump. And now the cat's out of the bag, and they're just playing for it, even some spam damage.
The jump spot, that should give it away for certainty. Oh, great shot from Frizzy. Just playing distraction, right? I mean, the whole goal there for Frizzy is never to really get a kill through that spam or the jump spot. It's just to get information, create questions for the retaking player, and make Elucidator's life miserable.
And that he did. Now, right back into a new half of Counter-Strike, and you have this lead suddenly. A pistol round. You need to find this finally, Fisher. You've been undefeated on them, Cincinnati. We'll see if they have something up the sleeve right here.
Yeah, a Fisher pistol round would be phenomenal. Tatum looking to deliver that.
Oh,
Never
no.
mind. Tatum gets the opening, and suddenly they're all gone. Blink of an eye, and Fisher College evaporates right at the hands of Cincinnati. Here's the retake. Never mind that. Why not alone?
I am at a loss. You know, I really get my hopes up when I see Tatum with Dooley's rushing door, getting an opening kill like that. But then I can't even form a thought before Cincinnati. They have just laughed and just gotten these 3 kills back in a blink of an eye. It is just insane. And now 8 is met. Finally, Vincent, I think I'm going to have to agree with you. Maybe this is something that Cincinnati could run away with and put us all the way to Mirage.
I don't think that Fisher could win a pistol round if I put one up for sale. I don't think they could. I don't think they can get one. This is a struggle. It's tough out here. I'm also in the not winning pistols category, so I can't really speak on the topic, but you understand. It's difficult to find some advantages in these positions. It's USPs this round, essentially a wash, Marky. Let's talk a bit more about the complexity, or the complexion rather, of this game. With 9-5 presumably about to be the scoreline, there we go. What do Fisher need to do on this gun round? How important is it for them to get this started well?
Well, it's very important to understand that they're not going to be coming in with the op. And you know what? These are players who are going to opt for these FAMASas to get up every nade, which could honestly opt for maybe a fast outside play. I could see Fisher going for a momentum booster early, but I don't know. The risk reward there is just not matched. I mean, you're going to maybe want to start it off modest, but they're just going to want to take things slow and steady.
True to your words, slow and steady is the pace of Fisher in the outset of this round defensively. The CT side just spreading themselves thin across the map, aggression a little bit. They're into the forward position at ramp, but otherwise playing as passively as possible. In the meantime, Fisher College allowing Cincinnati some measure of outside control. They had the early smokes, I believe. Dropping down, Brizzy will collect 2. The aggression timed perfectly. It's Maz taking the fight to CJ at ramp, and this is